Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday morning. I'm hanging out with the one, the only, the brilliant, the smiley, the happy Jacob Gaffney, and we are excited to rise and shred. Today, we're talking about cybercrime. We're talking about SEC investigations. We're talking about, is work killing you? And of course, we're talking about sharing hope. Ladies and gentlemen, sit down, buckle up, join us for the only, the one daily diary of the mortgage industry. Let's shred. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. Jacob Gaffney in the house as always. Every Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen, you can join myself and Jacob Gaffney talking about the things that are truly critically important to you, your business, and just to kind of we put a lighthearted spin on the daily diary of the mortgage industry. So if you're joining Jacob and I this morning, comment hashtag Rise and Shred, because that's what we're doing. It's time to rise. It's time to shred. Jacob, how was your weekend, brother?
It was great, man. It was great. A lot happening. The boat is unstuck.
Finally.
Traffic is resuming to the Suez Canal. Breaking this just in. The boat's out. The boat's out.
Life can return to normal. We're all right, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know how many Amazon deliveries are stuck up in that thing, but it's going to flow. It's going to flow. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay.
We're going to survive, ladies and gentlemen. Dude, I'll be honest, Jacob. I could not believe when I first heard it, I thought it was a joke. I'm like,
yeah.
What? There's a boat stuck? Like, just pull it out. Like, it can't be that big of a deal. But it was a bigger deal. And like, Amazon's going to be struggling. I've heard from coffee shipments to all kinds of shipments. There's going to be it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to stay tuned to Rise and Shred. That's why you need to subscribe right now. Click the link because you don't want to miss a single piece of the daily diary of the mortgage industry. So, lots of other stuff going on. And we want to start with this, Jacob, because honestly, is work killing us? Are we dying because of work, Jacob?
The short answer is yes. Look, Josh, the mortgage industry did great in 2020, but it was really an example of people sacrificing their personal health for the better of the industry and for the better of the firms they work for. We hear a lot about CEOs that had tremendous leadership values. They pivoted, they did all this thing, but we really don't talk enough about how the average person in this industry sacrificed their personal health just to get everything done.
True.
Right? We don't talk about that. And now it's showing. And there's a couple of so the Wall Street Journal took some census data, did some digging around, right? And they found that, that we saved 60 million hours last week not commuting to work.
What?
60 million hours were saved. That's awesome, right?
That's great.
That's 60 million hours of nap time. Wrong. That was 60 million hours of work. People worked. They worked hard. They worked extra. The average break was 5 minutes long.
Really?
Let's talk about breaks at work, Josh.
Yeah, let's talk about it. All right.
When you're working from home, what is a break? You don't really take a break. No. You don't go outside and walk around your house. You're checking on your kids. You're making your kids lunch. You're doing something that is more closely linked to work than it is to exercise. Or you can't tell me you can't get your heart rate. I'm going to do 5 minutes of jumping jacks. I spent the first 6 months of the pandemics with kettlebells gaining dust just right by my chair. Like, I want a kettlebell. That's what I'm going to do. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Nope. There are people that are now setting their alarms at night to remind them to stop working.
Wow. Dude, that's a bad thing. Like if you have to set your alarm saying, stop, done, clock out, you're done. But is that like, even then, like everybody was so excited. Everybody's like, work from home, it's going to change the world. And we even have big companies talking about it, but it's like, we're overworking ourselves, Jacob. We're working ourselves to death, ladies and gentlemen.
We are. And the only solution, it's not an industry solution. It's not a boss solution. It's a me solution. You have to work harder on yourself. Everyone out there, you have to be more conscientious that you are not okay. This is messed up, Josh. This is messed up. Okay, this is not normal. We adjusted. We made it normal because we rock as an industry, right? Yep. There's no way around it. But this is not normal. Let's stop acting like this is normal. Okay, can we start that now? Is that
let's do it. Yep, let's go.
Yeah,
yep, absolutely.
So let's move on. You get the point. Let's move on.
I say, Janine, I love your comment here, feeling this 100% right now. I think a lot of people are feeling it, like 100%. There's so many people across our industry that are feeling that. We've just been burning the candle at both ends. Hey, we're all about working hard, but at the same time, we're absolutely killing ourselves. Let's stop doing it. All right, moving on. Let's talk about SEC investigations.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. SEC is investigating a lot, but they are not investigating the IPO craziness. They are formally they're gathering information on the recent IPO frenzy and all the money of which the mortgage market took a large participation in, right? In these IPOs, and we know who they are. And the SEC is asking banks to tell them more about how this funding works. So at the heart of this inquiry, we could call it, are the special purpose companies, the SPACs as they're called, that are created in order to avoid being a total like IPO, like to put everything in front of the public. They actually go through these companies so that there are a certain amount of private investors who can more heavily benefit from the IPO. And if it's the owner, it's the company and all that, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Sure.
On paper, the SEC says now they want to see these papers. So this is usually the first step to a formal investigation. They need to see if there's proof. Everything's still voluntary.
Of course.
This is the way the SEC, which is a civil agency, this is the way the SEC tests the waters there. So it's going to be, you got to go to your bank and say, look, you're going to have to turn over the information. If the bank does not turn over the information, the SEC will then convert it to being like, oh, we're not getting any information here. So we're going to have to kick this up a notch, or they kick this up a notch, right? So what does it mean to us? What does it mean to LOs? It's a very unusual question, but I could tell you there is a company a long time ago that was called Appraiser Loft. And when I was working at Housing, where I'd get calls from people in the parking lot waiting to go into work in Appraisal Loft, they call me and they say, Jacob, is this company going out of business? And I'd be like, we're doing our editorial investigation right now, and it doesn't look good, man. I gotta tell you. They're like, should I go into work? And there was this huge fear that they were working at a place that was not seen as on the up and up. Does that make sense?
Totally
so you
makes
have to ask yourself, as an LO, as a broker, as any of that, would you really want to work? And I'm asking you, Josh, because you're an originator. Would you want to work with a company, a lender that was under a formal SEC investigation?
Oh, hell no. No way. Forget about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's where we're moving. So we'll see. Maybe everything is on a long line, but this is something that flew really under the radar, except in financial press. That this SEC, they're looking into it. And we know, we've seen, and we've said on this show time and again, we'll say on the show that the current political environment is more about enforcing and getting fines off of people in this industry. I mean, the $50,000 fee for the appraisal. Do you remember? I mean,
yep, we talked about that. Yep.
Those stories are going to begin piling up. You got to subscribe to Rise&Shred, keep up where it is. But they're not the only one trying to take money.
No, they're not. They are not. Let's talk about that. Because is cybercrime still even a thing? Is cybercrime going up? Because everybody's a virtual. We're all using Zoom these days. It's all, like you said, working from home. We're on the computer all the time. Cybercrime, is it really still a big thing?
It is a tremendous problem, and it is a huge issue that this industry is very, very reluctant to talk about publicly for the same fear that we discussed with the investigation. No one wants to say we've been hacked, although I do know of at least 3 companies, and if I know of them, that means there's got to be a lot. If it gets to me,
right?
No one wants to let people know that, oh my God, we had a ransomware attack and we had to pay $500,000 to get our files back. No one's going to say that. No one wants you to know that, and I respect that. I respect a business's right to security or lack thereof and privacy. But the truth of the matter is that these incidences are not being reported enough to the proper authorities. And the proper authorities in this case is the IC3, which is the division of the FBI. And they put out their report that said that cybercrime, especially business email being compromised, is huge. It is a huge business. Business email compromise, that is where someone pretends to be someone from your firm and has, Josh.pitts with a Z instead of an S at shredmedia.io or whatever, and sends that over right to you. And you send that to me. I'm very likely to think that that's my buddy Josh sending me a message, and he needs me to go get him some gift cards because he's going to surprise some people at the office. And I'm like, I could fall for that. quite easily. So we gave them $2 billion last year.
Only $2 billion, no big deal. Not a big deal.
Business email compromise. And like I was talking to you before, we'll get some security experts on this show.
Ooh,
right. We've got to get some security experts to talk about how to avoid this, because we're certainly no experts in the field. We're all vulnerable. But what's really interesting is that people under the age of 30, right? So you'd think that they would know, like they don't even use email from what I understand. Nearly 300 million of that loss went to people who are people who are just starting in the field. Very, very targeted. And it's only really happening at a huge growing rate in 4 states. There's only 4 states really that are seeing major levels. So if you're in one of these states, you got to beef up your security. You ready?
Pay attention.
California.
Shocker.
Florida.
Ooh.
New York. And Texas.
Jacob, you guys need to work on it there, bro. Come on now.
I gotta, or I need to start some sort of email compromise hacking scheme, because that's where the real money is. That's where the real money is. Let's face it. So
pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Rise&Shred coming into email hacking.
Yeah, it's a plan. Let's just make it a plan B. We don't have to.
If this whole thing doesn't work out, we know what plan B is. That works.
We do. So that is the latest and the greatest. Be sure you get your sleep. Be sure you don't get hacked. And if you do get hacked, report it to the authorities, and we'll need to talk a little bit. I wanted to ask you about another initiative that you've been working on that we could potentially be a part of. And it's an expansion of the Shred ideas.
Oh, yes. I love expanding Shred ideas.
So what are we going to do, Josh? You want to tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah, something that you and I, honestly, we have to give almost all the credit to you, Jacob, because as we've continued to build this idea out, this initiative of sharing hope. Share hope, repeat every day. We had the incredible Molly Dowdy join us last week, and she shared some of the things that she had done. We had Chris Griffith join us, talking about something that he was working on. But Jacob, you and I have been in this industry a long time. And like you mentioned, 2020 was an absolute banner year for so many of us. 2021 continues to be a phenomenal year. Yes, interest rates are creeping up a little bit, but for the most part, we're pretty fortunate individuals, pretty fortunate beings, being that we're in mortgage or real estate. We had a pretty good year. And we really want to continue to grow this idea, continue to grow this initiative of sharing hope, and really being able to connect with our community, being able to connect with all of you, and being able to give back. We want to do more than we're doing. And we truly, Jacob, you and I believe that the mortgage industry, there is no other more charitable, there is no other more giving industry than the mortgage industry. Let's just be honest. We know that all of you people have huge hearts, and we want to continue to build upon that. We want to continue to give back and find those people who could use our help, could find those organizations that are needing a little bit right now, where we can share hope every single day.
It's been amazing, man. I've always been so impressed by how simple some of these actions have been. Whether, we've had firms in the past that have put together backpacks. Chris was talking about socks last week. These sound like little things, but they're really huge deals. And how often have you heard of a mortgage company tearing up the mortgage, or giving a month, or look at what they're doing with the forbearance right now, right? And giving people the chance to get on their feet. How often do you hear that? It's almost daily. I think it could be almost daily. I think we could get, you'd be shocked to find out how much in these people, they just give. And you just never hear about it because, they're humble. Yeah. They're humble and they have big hearts. But, think of this. When was the last time you saw a car dealer give away a car? Tear up the car note, bring a car full of goodies to a local shelter and give, people, name it. It happens, I'm sure. But I am convinced that the mortgage industry is the most charitable industry. You hear here and there from Silicon Valley type companies giving these big lumps, but anyone in the lending space, especially if you add lending into that and you bring in some of the big banks, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, they're all about trying to increase Black home ownership, increase diversity. They just do so much for this industry, and we're going to start highlighting it.
Absolutely.
Whether it's going to be guests on this show who work in the mortgage industry that you had no idea. You had no idea what they were doing. We're going to have them on the show just to hear their story. We're going to put as many incidences as we can in coverage. I've directed the editor of the Rise and Shred to be sure to be on the lookout for charitable. Email me, email Josh if you want to talk about what you're doing in the charitable space. We want to spread the word.
Yes, we do.
We're going to spread the word and share the hope.
Yep.
We're going to be a media company that's going to have a priority to share hope.
Bingo.
That's going to show up, hustle, repeat every day. We're going to share hope and repeat every day. And it doesn't just start with being a better tipper, although that's part of it. Sharing what you can. I'm not saying overextend yourself. If it's not money, fine. Time
Bingo.
is more valuable than money, right?
Yep. 100%. And it's all of you. It's everybody. We need all of you. Like Jacob said, email myself, email, Nora, our editor, email us and share those stories. We want to hear from you guys. We want to share those stories. And again, this is not being arrogant. This isn't being prideful. This is sharing hope for everybody else. We want to hear from you. We want to give other people ideas, whether it's time, money, whatever you're giving, share those stories. Maybe somebody in your office did something incredible. You just want to highlight them. Those are our local heroes, ladies and gentlemen, which there's going to be a lot more to come. You have to stay tuned for that. But
I want to mention one final thing, John.
Fire.
Last year, 60 million hours did not go to commuting, went into work, and look at what it did for the industry. If that 60 million hours could have gone into charity, think of what could have happened. Instead of actually taking not a 5-minute break, but an hour-long break and finding something to be. And look, we're just starting out, right? So I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to be watching the show like, okay, all right, so I'll extend, my break from 5 minutes to an hour. Okay, hot shots. What kind of charity do I give to? What do I do now, right? Just sit here and we don't have an answer to that yet, right, Josh? We're just starting out. We hope to one day be able to corral and direct. There is no centralized effort for charity. There is no, this isn't true anymore because I guess there is.
Yep.
Because we're doing it, right? We're going to do this.
It's happening. It is going down.
There is a centralized media company that's focused on charity, and that is Shred Media. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just made the announcement.
Mic drop. That's it. There's the announcement. You heard it all right here on Rise and Shred, and that's what we're building. Melissa Puckett, hashtag show up and serve. I like that one too. That's a good one, Melissa. Sharing hope, repeat every day. Jacob and I, and our entire team here at Shred Media, we are the central. When it comes to charity giving back, that's what we're all about. We are pushing this initiative, and we hope you guys join us with it because, like Jacob has mentioned, we have such an opportunity to bless, such an opportunity to help and give back. You guys are onto something. I like it, Randy Vyers. You guys are onto something. I like it. Hashtag Shred. We are onto something, Randy. That's what we're all about here. We're all about being different. We're all about being unique. And that's what's going down. Jacob, as always, it is such an incredible opportunity to hang out with you every Monday morning to share the latest and greatest from the absolute #1 daily diary of the mortgage industry. And you heard it here first. Jacob made the announcement. Charity, charitable actions, charitable service. You're going to hear more and more about it here on Rise and Shred. So thank you, Mr. Jacob Gaffney. Look forward to continuing to bring all of you the latest and the greatest every single day. That's why click below. Subscribe right now. What are you waiting for? You don't wait anymore. Click below. Rise and Shred. The link is below. Click it and join us on the #1 daily diary of the mortgage industry. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time for you guys to go shred, share hope, repeat every day. See you guys. Maybe we'll see you.